going on, brothers? It's your main man. Back in here with another video. And this article popped up. I was doing a search on something. And I don't know why this was in the browser when I launched it. You know, they have these previews. My brother is so far gone how male influencers turn the men in these people's lives toxic. Here we go. People told BuzzFeed News how their loved ones have embraced deeply hateful and misogynistic, I'm saying it wrong, worldviews since listening to alpha male influencers. In other words, they want you to be a punk. A beloved brother who suddenly supports violence against the women's, a dad who minored in women's studies. Who the hell would take a class like that? And now wants to take out effeminate sissy men. A boyfriend who starts making misogynistic jokes. We asked our readers how toxic male influences have changed the men in their lives, and they responded with disturbing stories. Supporters of the alpha male ideology, a term adopted by the manosphere to describe what they consider the ideal version of manhood, were dealt a blow when rising star Andrew Tate was deplatformed across several social media sites in quick succession in August. That was a straight crime. That's what I don't like about social media, and I forgot the bill that passed where they don't have to adhere to the First Amendment. That needs to be repealed. This should be on the same standard as a phone company. This is how we communicate now. This would be like I'm on my cell phone and I say something they don't like, and then they terminate my service because I'm having a conversation that they don't like. That's the size of it. Because this is BS. Because he's not saying anything about hurting women or anything like that. So let's continue. The former kickboxer and purported self-made millionaire found infamy online as one of the top influencers in an ecosystem of toxic male figures by defending traditional Western gender roles and preaching the gospel of misogyny. He and other creators like him position themselves as life coaches, teaching hyper-masculinity and hustle culture through social media, podcast videos, and online courses. To millennial and Gen Z men, Tate influencer Kevin Samuels, who passed away May 22nd, and Myron Gaines and Walter Weeks of Fresh and Fit podcast successfully built careers selling the idea of dominant man to millions of followers while trafficking in anti-woman and anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. They're laying it on thick here. So they want you to be a punk. That's the bottom line. That's all this stuff is. They want you to be a punk. These figures are seen as compelling to their followers because they are perceived as anti-mainstream, and Dr. Lisa, whatever her name is, author of The Incel Rebellion, The Rise of the Manosphere, and The Virtual War Against Women's, and a professor who studies the crossover between gender and cybercrime. But of course, the contradiction is that it's very much part of mainstream and validating the usual tropes about gender and violence against the women. I mean, who is talking about that? You can't show me one top influencer that's talking about violence against women, that supports violence against women. You can't. You can take a line from Sugar Hill Gang. If your girl starts messing up, or if my girl starts messing up, I'll just take her friend. Yeah, there ain't nobody talking about that. That's pimp game. Like what? I'll give me another woman. Peace. Nobody got time for all that. This is evident in tweets from Tate stating EPAR victims bear responsibility, which first got him banned in Twitter in 2017. Yeah, I'll be glad when Eli takes over, because this is stupid. And keeping it a buck, that's not what he said. They're taking it out of context. What he's saying is, if you're walking around in the middle of the night, half naked, you are inviting some weirdo to attack you. It's just a fact. And then you always get this, well, if men can't control themselves, there's an extremely small percentage of men that's actually doing that stuff. So we can kill that right there. The thing is, that's just like, I'm going to give you another example. I go to the Hells Angels nightclub. And I go in there, you guys are a bunch of punk pussies. And they beat me to death. Were they right in beating me? No. But I know ahead of time, if I do that, that's what's going to happen. So I don't do it. It doesn't make them right for doing it. But you know to keep yourself out of situations where your life is in danger. That's all he's saying. He's not saying that the person is right for doing it to her. But you can't put yourself into bad situations where bad things happen to you. It's just the way it is. It's just a fact. That's why we can't fix anything in this society, because everything has to be phony and you can't be honest about anything. Okay, so renewed attention on his misogynistic comments in August saw him deplatforming TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, where all three of his channels had over 1 million subscribers and were reportedly earning both him and YouTube millions of dollars in ad revenue. While Tate may now be banned from most social media platforms, the audience he and other misogynistic influence have cultivated remains. I find it funny though, because there was a campaign, there was a lot of talk on YouTube about aborting black male babies, and not one of those women got deplatformed. That's okay. What makes this particular strain of creation so insidious is how it's packaged most often as self-help for men who are struggling with real issues. And it is self-help. On the surface, there's that appreciation of genuine problems that men suffer in society, but these communities are not about support. They are more concerned with creating this common enemy of women, society, and progressiveness. Instead, they're taught to self-loathe, hate women, and blame women and broader society. Oh my God. So if you speak facts, that means you hate women. Nobody's talking about hate women. They're telling you how to deal with a situation once you get into it, or how to keep yourself out of that situation. There's no hate there. They can't even show me one line, and I see they got Kevin Chambers' name with that. One sentence he uttered that's about hating women. And then when you dig down into these women about this stuff, they're bothered. Well, the way he says it, he was about as polite as you could possibly be. Every now and then he snapped on a chick after they snapped on him. But see, they never blame women for all the bad stuff they do. But let's continue. For instance, Samuels initially introduced himself to the audience as an image consultant and lifestyle coach, but he became a godfather figure for the misogynist directed at black women. Shut up. In his podcast and across social media, and Gains and Weeks titled Fresh and Fit as a place to help men navigate females, fitness, and finances. That's what they do. Their combined Instagram accounts have over 600,000 followers, and their Patreon has over 1,500 subscribers that are paying at least $5 a month. But Reddit has been quietly removing content from the podcast for months because it violates the platform's rules against promoting hate. And this is more hypocrisy because women can make all kinds of stuff by hating men. Men are trash. Nothing happens. Nothing. And these guys don't even do that. They put women on there, and the women basically incriminate themselves. They show their true nature, but they're bad for doing that. How long is this article? I'm not going to read all this. Yeah, this is long. I'm not going to read through all this. I'll read up to this point. We asked our readers to tell us stories about how listening to and watching these influencers changed their behavior of men in their lives, and presented some of their experiences to representatives of Tate, Gaines, and Weeks. Gaines and Weeks did not reply to BuzzFeed's request for comment on the story. Tate denied that his content harms younger followers. Children are exposed to internet and will find ideas that they misinterpret because they don't have real life experience, he told, which is true. I'll read one of these. My brother is 20 years old, where we were raised to be kind and nice people and generally respectful. Last year, he started to send me clips of Kevin Samuels saying things like, "Finally, someone who gets it." He would make insinuations about needing to change the way he was because he was a beta. Maybe he was a punk. Things weren't working for him. He began to say things like women need to be reminded of their place, black women need to go back to being homemakers and supporting their black kings. But one of the most startling behavior changes I noticed was he began becoming more violent towards me. Oh boy, here we go. He began sharing posts on Facebook how it's okay to beat women and step out of line. And I'm gonna pause that right there. There is nowhere in Kevin Samuels' videos did he say anything about putting your hands on a woman. And Andrew Tate doesn't do that either. None of these dudes is talking about that. Fresh and Fit, nobody's talking about putting their hands on a woman. And I'll say this, I went to the Old Man Brown School of Women. Old Man Brown said, I ain't trying to own no woman. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. We just be good friends. We'll have a good time. We'll leave it at that. He said it much more raunchier than that. I'm giving you the YouTube Rated K version. But yeah, I ain't trying to own no woman. Whatever they want to do, go ahead, do it. You want to hop in a sack with 1,000 men? Go for it. I'm not trying to stop you. I'm not going to marry you, but I ain't trying to stop you either. Do what you do. Anyways, guys, I'm going to link this in the description box, and you guys can read all. I'm not going to read through all that because I can see it's already BS. So they're talking about stuff that they cannot substantiate. You can't show me anything in their videos that they're talking about putting hands on a woman. It's not there. But anyways, brothers, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not going to long stroke it. Like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. And I'll see you brothers in the next video. Peace.